All right, Kiss Army, welcome to the KissFAQ Podcast. Thank you for giving us your time today and letting us into your head. I hope we don't do any damage. This is a Kiss-related podcast by the board, for the board. We hope that you enjoy. Welcome to episode 298 of the KissFAQ Plaguecast. I'm your host, Julian Gill, and yes, I'm still alive.
Woo!
Before we get into the show, obviously today I'm joined by Lonnie and Ken. Good to see both of you, literally, figuratively, every which way. Yeah, I did get COVID-19, and I was in hospital just overnight. In ER Saturday, but the previous week I had a few very, very rough days where I thought I was checking out from horrendous heart rate. I mean, we were well over 150 on the heart rate, went all night long. I mean, we're talking 5-6 hours of that. Blood pressure through the roof. Didn't ever get a cough. Didn't get a lot of the symptoms, but. What was it? A couple nights later was horrendous body pain. Like every single injury that I'd ever had on my body was being attacked at the same moment by that virus. But most of my issues came from COVID interacting with medication, and I'm on high blood pressure stuff, so that was what landed me in ER. But since then, I'm on President Trump's happy pills, and they seem to be working, along with the Z-Pack. Whatever, if I'd already turned the corner, fine. Well, I'm testing this stuff out. But I do want to take the opportunity to not talk about the disease, because we're not here for that. We're here to escape all that and talk music and stuff. But I do want to thank every single person who reached out, musicians, members of the band, friends, acquaintances, people who don't even know me personally, for the best wishes and everything during this, very trying and stressful time. But I did appreciate every single one of you taking the time, just to send a message or a wish or whatever. Very much appreciated. And, we all need to remember that there are thousands and thousands of other people who are suffering from this, whether it's from people, loved ones who've passed on, who are in hospital. I didn't have a ventilator or ever get near there. So I'm really low in terms of pure suffering, and I'm alive. People who've lost their jobs, been laid off, businesses, so, keep those thoughts, prayers, whatever you do going for the rest of the world, because it's a worldwide issue. And that's it on COVID. Let's move on and do a show about Kiss, about the band that we love, about the music that's a part of our life. Anyone bought anything in the last couple of weeks, because it's been a little while since we last did a show?
Well, I did get a couple of things. One I bought a long time ago, but it took forever to get here because I think there was some lost mail happened on it. But it did finally come, and it's Ace Frehley's Space Invader with the gold Ace signature on it. So it's, nice gatefold, very shiny. So nice and shiny, cool stuff, and it's a nice vinyl on it too. The other thing I got was, and you have this, I guess they reprinted more of these, and that's the Polestar magazine.
Of course they did. They saw how well it was selling, probably.
Holy
shit, finally, someone wants to buy Polestar magazine.
Yeah, those suckers, the Kiss fans.
They'll buy anything.
They'll buy anything, obviously, right? So that's all I got. But it's actually, the magazine's actually not bad.
So congratulations to Chris in Ontario, I believe it was, who won the drumsticks and pick. She emailed me yesterday saying that they'd arrived, so very happy that his prize made it there. Thank you, of course, for entering any of the giveaways that we do. We don't have one this week, but we will again soon on whatever show we got. Lonnie, you bought anything, or are you too essential to be shopping?
I did recently I've been putting together those 2014 vinyls still, and I recently got Paul Stanley's solo album a couple weeks ago. Maybe about a week or so ago. So it's a nice little addition. But the big news is that we've all been basically locked up, and I still have to go to my job, but other than that, I don't leave the house. So I've had some extra time on my hands, especially with no sports going on either. I really got extra time on my hands. I don't have any kids or anything. I don't know what to do with myself. So I've been digging stuff out that's been in what I call Kiss storage, and I've been adding to my Kiss room. And I busted out my 24-inch Kiss Destroyer dolls. I posted those on the Facebook page over the weekend, and found the Kiss in the remember those Kiss Jack in the Boxes, like the Kiss in the Boxes.
Yeah.
I found those. I was digging those out, and my wife's like, "What are those?" I'm like, "Oh, these are great." She goes, "I've never even seen those." And like the newspaper they were wrapped in was from 2010, so like they've literally been in storage for 10 years. So I busted out a lot of fun stuff and really tested the patience of my wife over the last couple of weeks with being trapped in the house. So
Well, I saw that video. I saw the video.
Yeah, I sent you guys the video.
With your wife narrating, like
this is what happens when he doesn't have sports.
This wasn't there before. Yeah, that's funny. Really good stuff.
We make a lot of people suffer with our hobbies, so that's for sure.
Yeah.
And so that's a good way to kind of go into today's topics, which we don't have a topic. I'm unprepared. I apologize. But, we're all locked down. We're locked down in San Francisco. I would be at work if, I wasn't like a plague zombie, Typhoid Mary, as I was called by my colleagues. But spending more time at home, do you find yourself listening to more music when you are at home or less? I mean, how are you kind of occupying your time with music, and how's Kiss fitting into that story? Ken?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I did listen to more music, though it wasn't necessarily Kiss. I think I posted that I was going to watch that Electric Light Orchestra video DVD that had some cool stuff, concert footage, and their appearances on other shows like Fusion and I can't remember the other one. But then there was one full show from '78 from Wembley. So I watched that. I've been listening to various miscellaneous music and stuff like that as much as I could. I'm still working, though. Fortunately, I'm still working, which takes up a lot of my time during the day, weekdays at least.
Lonnie, how about you while you're doing your thing?
Yeah, we've been, we at a certain point, we just have to turn off the TV because you need a break from it at some point. So we've found ourselves listening to more music around the house lately, and I give my wife a hard time on the show, but she's a good sport. I'd be working in my Kiss room doing something, and she'd be like, "Well, why don't you put on one of your new records? Because that's why I'm buying those 2014 vinyls so I can play them and not have to play my 70s stuff. Just so you don't have to take those out of the sleeves and that. So, so I've been playing some Kiss vinyl, and we also, I put put a mix of variety on my phone for stuff that I like and stuff that she likes, just to everybody's getting a little enjoyment out of it too. So no, I found we found ourselves listening to more music around the house lately, with instead of watching the news on TV all the time and there being no sports on TV to watch or anything. So I think music is an important thing, and it's a good healer, and it distracts us from some sad realities. So music always somehow plays a role. So it's been very beneficial for us.
Yeah, I was listening to the Dead Kennedys today. I just felt the need to dig out that catalog. But one thing that I have been digging back into a bit more as well is the Gene Simmons vault. I mean, just throw it back in. I'm wearing headphones a lot around the house because we're, all working from home. So you can't just be blasting music. And, actually being able to focus in on just the tunes is kind of interesting. So, just fun to revisit that because, as the years pass from that event, you listen to it less and less frequently. It's no longer special. It's no longer that gigantic cache of material to explore and discover for the first time again. Thinking of some of these topics that we had kind of just posted some ideas about. Destroyer. no, Mark, no, Dress to Kill has just been announced, the
Yeah.
45th anniversary version, of course, which will be available on Kiss Online. Yeah, either of you plan on getting, and what do you think about the package and what they've put together for that anniversary edition?
I'll
Yeah.
probably get it. I'll probably wait till it's on like that You Discover Music site and then get the vinyl itself a little cheaper. I don't have much of an interest in the money clip or the flask or things like that. I'm to each their own. I mean, I'm also the guy that just said I dug out my Kiss Jack in the Boxes the other day. So I mean, to each their own. If that's what you want to get, go ahead and get it. But the record itself is enough for me. I've gotten the other ones, and I would like to continue to get them. There even through this, Kiss fans are still Kiss fans. And the other day when they announced it was on the anniversary of Dress to Kill. We have commented on this show several times that we'll expect that to happen on the 45th anniversary of Dress to Kill. It follows the trend that they've been going with the last few years. That's probably going to happen. And there were several comments on like Kiss's Twitter page or Kiss's Facebook page when they announced that this was being released, like, "Oh, fine time to be asking fans for more money." But first of all, it's the record company that's putting this out, you jackass. And second of all, if you don't want to buy it, don't buy it. Crap. I mean, so some people just have to complain or they're not happy. But no, I'll get the record. I'll spend my money.
Have you seen that they've got the personalized gold record as well?
Yeah, it is.
The T-shirts. I won't buy the record. I mean, red vinyl. I'm so sick. Can they pick one of the other three colors in the color catalog of vinyl pressings? But I'd also be concerned.
I got a deal on red.
Are these records actually going to come out? I mean, because of the economy being savaged, are those businesses going to stay? But the T-shirts, there's one very cool T-shirt, the Live 75 T-shirt. I like.
Yeah.
I just don't get. I don't get the socks, the money clip. I don't get it. Ken.
Yeah. I mean, I did think about getting the whole package thing, but I did not. I just ordered the red vinyl. So I did post in the board where they were talking about the color, and I said they should have used the colors from the promo. For the press kit, it had the yellow and black and stuff. They could have done a yellow with a black splatter or something like that. Come on, look at what was going on at the time. It's real simple to see how they were promoting it. Use the colors that they were using when they were promoting it. Even black and white or white with black splatter. Something, but hey, whatever. I mean, red. I guess they have a lot of red pellets, so they had to get rid of. So they did that, I guess. So, but I did get just the vinyl. I ordered that.
I like your idea there of black and white splatter. That would have been very apro for Dress to Kill. Good idea.
They didn't ask.
Too late.
Yeah. So today, of course, the first cancellation of a Kiss tour date has happened, with Donington being called off for this year, and the announcement is simply that we'll be back next year. So that is not a postponement, that is a cancellation, though they will honor tickets for next year, they say. I also hear I have not seen an official post yet from anyone that Doc has said that the European tour is off. So that's pending. I mean, what do you think is going to happen touring-wise? Do you think the dates that were now scheduled in the fall, the U.S. run, is going to happen? Or do you think 2020 is just going to be erased? What's kind of your feeling? And again, this is opinion and feeling. We have no information. We don't know what's happening. We know that Ticketmaster is completely off the radar, right, Ken? They have disappeared.
Yes.
They are in.
Yeah, they're hiding from us.
They're not giving us our fucking money back. Ken and I were at the Oakland
I saw that earlier.
Yeah, the meet and greet was canceled. After you'd gone in, and that's fine. Nothing to do with the band. Again, this is no criticism of Kiss, McGee, or them. But refunds have still not been received, and that's absolute bullshit. Coming up to 3 weeks since the show, and you can't communicate with Ticketmaster. They've gotten rid of their chat. They won't respond to emails. They actually send you a response saying, we're not doing any support by email. You have to phone, and you phone, and you just get a busy signal or a disconnect. So I expect them to be declaring bankruptcy, and then, obviously they're in the cartel with Live Nation, and just, $1,500 for that meet and greet. I want my money. Did not get it for a reason that's absolutely justifiable. No problem with it being canceled. No problem with how it was. Epic Rights emailed everyone that your refunds would be processed in, 7 to 10 business days. And then they had the audacity, and that's Epic Rights, say, oh, you bought through Ticketmaster, you've got to deal with them. Excuse me? You're the ones who were emailing us all the details about the damn event and sent us the email saying that it'd be automatically processed. So, Ken, your thoughts on that before we talk about what we think is going to happen to Ticket Bastard and the industry?
Yeah. So their dates, the canceling, I mean, it's not surprising. I haven't heard anything about the Central America dates, but I assume those will be canceled too. They start, late April or something like that. Then I think the first date is El Salvador, I believe, down there. That's not looking good right now. I'd be very surprised if those still happen. But, you never know how things are going to turn around. Just the way things look right now, I don't think it's anytime soon. Couple months or hopefully or less, it's hard to say. As for down the line in October, boy, I hope we're all done with this pretty much by then. I hope we're starting to, hopefully get back to normal by that time, semi-normal, I guess, where we can start to, go out, be out there and everything, sports events, other entertainment events can still happen. I don't know. I mean, I hope it is, but it's just really just an unknown thing right now. What's going to happen?
Yeah, what efforts have you gone through for your refund?
So I did contact them once. I got through on a chat before they stopped the chat, and they said they were going to look into it, and that's the last I've heard. They haven't gotten back to me. They have my information, but I'm hoping it's like a ticket, and it could be like up to 3 weeks or something like that. It's like, okay, whatever. And then after that, I would try to chat again, like you said. That it's just a default message saying 30 days, something, whatever. I don't know. It's just some kind of default message they put there. Their phones are busy. I did buy the insurance, so I may be contacting that insurance, putting in a claim like I think you did, Julian. I know you did it. So, it's a good chunk of money. So, hey, give me my money back. I didn't get what I paid for.
Yeah, these what was that company that went tits up a couple of years ago that the artists used to use to fulfill John Hart's book was Pledge Music. There we go.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Pledge. Yeah.
It's just like that. I mean, it's got to be a bit of a Ponzi scheme because can they have all that money that they've taken from tickets, available to refund, and that's why I'd much rather they get ours taken care of before all these other dates later down the road go. I mean, I'm strictly thinking Ponzi scheme.
Mm-hmm.
There we are. Lonnie, what are your thoughts on where the year is going in terms of touring?
I don't know. I mean, I can't imagine them doing that those South American dates in April. I can't. It's April next week. I can't imagine them being ready to tour in June. Like we were saying, I can't imagine them being ready to tour in Europe in June and play in front of 20,000 people. I can't, especially with Download being canceled today. I can't believe that we're going to be there in a couple months. I'm hopeful, and that's all we can really be right now, is hopeful that come September when those fall or August, whenever they're supposed to do a lap around the states again comes, that we're back to some kind of normalcy and we're ready for that.
Mm.
Is that going to be the case? I don't know. None of us do, but I hope we're ready for fall events. Come August. I hope we're ready for football come September. Things prior to that, I'm not sure. As far as any summer concerts go. I mean, Motley Crue and Def Leppard in stadiums. What makes you think that's going to happen right now? I mean, seriously.
Mm-hmm.
It's scary to think about, but I mean, what makes you think some of these things are going to happen? Like Indianapolis 500 got pushed back to August today. So I'm hopeful that come late August, September, we're ready to go again. We might have a great run of a lot of events in August, September, October, and hopefully that's the case. And hopefully we can kind of get this pent upness out of our system and have a good time. But we have right now. The best thing to do is we just have to wait it out. But hopefully it comes to that.
Yeah, I think you have to be positive. So let's go to the message board and look at what people have been talking about to entertain.
Let me spit my coffee out.
Wait, yeah, you're right. What the hell am I saying? Let's be positive. Gee, thanks a lot, Lonnie. What do you think? It's a cesspool after all? Is that what you're saying?
I didn't say that.
Aren't we a cesspool? Are we a pit of negativity and despair? No, but we sure have some special people, that's for certain. So let's start with a topic that'd be close to Lonnie's heart. Lonnie, why is Revenge perceived as such a good album? There we go.
We don't talk enough Revenge on this show, so that's good. I saw that earlier, and I was at work, and I didn't have time to, a couple of minutes while I was waiting for something to download. I really didn't have time to go on a rant about it on the board, but I did see the thread about, well, why is Revenge considered such a great album? One, we've talked about it. The first of all is their look on Revenge, and that's one reason why I think it's people. Paul Stanley said people hear with their eyes more, and Kiss finally looked like we always thought Kiss should look like. Come Revenge, and the sound of Revenge versus the sound of the previous records. Looking back on Hot in the Shade, which, the sound is terrible. Crazy Nights, sound is, very empty. I think Revenge is a kick in the nuts compared to what they had been putting out. Oh, and let's not forget, let's put the X and Sex and You Make Me Rock Hard was sandwiched in between those two albums too. So for a few years, Kiss was really putting out some just hollow music, and they finally put something out of substance, and that's why it's deemed so great. And I know we've had discussion on the show before. It's not for everyone. I couldn't believe it wasn't for everyone when we started doing the show. What do you mean you guys don't love this album as much as I do? But it was a welcoming sound when it came out. You got to put yourself in your Kiss Army shoes in 1992 when that came out. How refreshing it was compared to what they had been putting out throughout the 80s. That's why it's so welcomed, and that's why it's looked upon as, wow, they finally got it right. That's why.
Awesome, Ken.
Personal feelings aside, I mean,
I can go
on a rant about how much I love them, but in my opinion, that's why it's looked upon the way it is.
I just saw that topic. I'm like, oh, Lonnie's going to take over the show.
Has any comment?
Besides the fact that, that album is his favorite album. I mean, I did, I think, respond on there, and I kind of agreed with somebody else that posted something about. I said it was pretty much the best album since Lick It Up, basically. I know Julian would disagree with that, but and I kind of agreed with that. I thought that was. Sounding wise, it was good. The other thing that was the key thing is Gene Simmons was back as far as his look, the sound, the songs that he got. He got the lead-off single of all things on that album, and his other songs on the album they're all fantastic. I mean, he is the star of that album in my opinion, besides Bruce Kulick, of course. And so that was a big thing, is Gene being back and not Paul having to carry a couple of those albums, like, Animalize, and Asylum, which, so it was a return to form, I thought, and the sound was just fantastic production by Bob Ezrin. So yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, I think probably because it was so focused as an album. Bruce's guitar playing isn't any better on Revenge than on Crazy
True.
Nights. That's a little bit of a hot take, perhaps. Go back and
It's
listen to
true.
Crazy Nights. He's all over the place. He's flying. He's tasty bits, tasty fills, great runs,
Hmm.
great lead work. But married with production and sonic
Yeah.
values, it shines through a little bit more than Crazy Nights. Put on your headphones and listen to Crazy Nights. Listen to Bruce. Try and filter through the negative polish. So it was certainly
Hmm.
a big factor in why it's so crisp and clear and clean. But then again, you have Gene is being focused. He's not bringing the kitchen sink like he does on Hot in the Shade. He's making an effort, unlike
Hmm.
what he was doing on Animalize. So, like you said, Gene was back.
Hmm.
Paul. Paul was rising to it. Paul was always up to the challenge. Paul was always trying to take it to the next level. Paul is always making me mix my metaphors. Paul is Paul. And,
Hmm.
the drummer. Eric Singer brought
Oh
something
yeah.
different
Hmm.
that changed the dynamics of the music. So, you take all those
Yeah.
factors, you have the band being angry and ready to enter a new decade and move on from the disaster. It's the next step, the next chapter for everyone, after the death of Eric Carr. It's not moving
Hmm.
on from him, but it's turning the page and saying, we are still viable, we are still credible, we are ready to kick your butt. So I think it's an album, no matter what I say about it in other contexts, it is still a fantastic album, and one that's rightfully, applauded and, lauded with many superlatives. Right below that, oh God, Yiggity. I have to.
We should just have Julian read the message board live every week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to be careful because there are some topics I just go delete, move straight into the
We should.
into the trash can. But would Lick It Up work as an opener?
No.
Ken's just shaking his head no, and no.
Yeah.
That one should probably go in the trash can. Ace the most. Say him again? No, that's someone else. Okay, that's a relief. Ace the most confident member? That's just stupid. Okay. Paul and Gene didn't play on Escape from the Island. Surprised?
Um, well, not so much surprised. I mean, I think I've known. I mean, let's say it this way. Back when I got the album, and if I heard that right after I, listening to it, I would have been surprised. But later on, and after reading, I probably your books, Julian, and stuff like that, and other knowledge that's come out, I, yeah, I believe it. And if Gene and it's almost like I sound like it was a jam session of some sort, and Gene and Paul were just not there, so Ace and Bob and Eric Carr, got together and knocked that thing out. So yeah, I'm not surprised. I would have been surprised way back. I was like, what? That's not Gene playing bass on Escape from the Island? Why not? That's blasphemy. But no, it's right now. I believe it.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite kind of bootlegs that have come out over the past few years. Is like 10 takes of them working through Escape from the Island.
Right.
It's just It's woodshedding. You hear it starting to take shape and find form, and then there's another instrumental at the end that never made it. And it's just clear that Ace was doing work around the Elder. Ace was not disinvested. Ace was part of the sessions, regardless of how much he actually said he was. And I think Escape from the Island, it doesn't need Gene. Gene was never one to insist on having a bass line of performed by him if someone else had done it better. And it's something I do admire about Gene, that he wasn't so egocentric or egotistical that it had to be him or no one else.
Yeah,
makes me think of someone else. So no, it doesn't need him. It doesn't need Paul. Ace's guitar, there's no real lead work. On the bed track itself, it doesn't need Paul playing that so that Ace can just fly. So I like it. I always like the bass in that, which I believe is Bob.
Oh yeah, that's very cool.
It's just a really nice bass line. Lonnie.
It's not surprising to me. I mean, it's kind of like as a younger Kiss fan, I would have been, what do you mean? Of course, that's Gene and Paul, they got together as a band and played this. But I mean, we've all heard of who didn't play on what on, basically every Kiss record. So, I mean, it doesn't surprise me, in the least. I mean, you just kind of take it with them, it's just another example of, so-and-so didn't play on what, but played on this. So, does it surprise me? No. Does it bother me and keep me up at night? No. So it's fine. Whatever. It doesn't mean I can't take any less enjoyment from the song because certain members didn't play on it. Don't bother me in the slightest. A good song is a good song.
Now, I know neither of you are going on the Kiss cruise, and while I am, I'm completely expecting that to get canceled now. But recently, the headliners for Cruise Fest 2020, which is, of course, the pre-cruise event in Miami, were announced. And Joe, I apologize publicly for not getting you on the show to talk about it, obviously with what was happening. I was also very busy, and then what happened, you kind of got lost. So this is the best I could do to make up for not having you on to talk about the Cruise Fest, but you were on plenty of other shows, so hopefully people can, go to Podcast Rock City, where I believe he was, to get the details on that, and if not, go to Cruise Fest, the website, which is posted all over Facebook. But Ace Frehley and Bruce Kulick returning this year to Cruise Fest. Lonnie, what's your thought on that? Are you happy they're coming back, or do you think it's really time to start changing things up? It's for the Kiss cruise. Why not have Ace Frehley and Bruce Kulick there? I don't have a problem with that at all. I think that's two great gets. So if you can have two of the staples of the band's guitar players there, I think that's a win-win for Kiss fans. So people say they're tired of it or want to get something else. Well, you know what? It's for Kiss, and this is two members of Kiss. I mean, if they got somebody else, they'd be like, well, why isn't there more Kiss? There should be more Kiss. You can't please everyone. So I think it's great. I have no qualms with it. I think it's a fantastic get, and more power to you. Ken.
Yeah, I agree. It's great that they got them there. I think if I hear or read that they might also play together on stage, maybe. I don't know. I thought I saw that, but and if that happened, that'd be really cool. If they're on the stage at the same time at one point, which I'm guessing they might do. So. Yeah, I mean, would you have that, or would you rather have a Kiss tribute band? I'd rather have original members playing up there, former members. So I think it's a good get, like Lonnie said.
Yeah, I believe Ace has said that he's going to have fans help pick some deep cuts to perform.
That's right.
I think he said that. So hopefully he gets a Wi-Fi signal and is able to rehearse those. That'd be really...
A a good wife.
Easy.
That's loud.
Oh, yeah,
Anyway.
okay.
It's loud.
I'll settle down. But, yeah, there's a lot of Ace songs I'd love him to do that he's never done.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell him one. Ace, All for Nothing.
Yeah.
You can't get any deeper. You can't get any deeper than the one known outtake from his 1978 solo album that I've only heard as an instrumental. Does it have lyrics? That's what I would love to know. And can Ace find them? Because I'm sure
That's
he,
the bigger. That's the shit.
sure he can't remember them.
That's the bigger question.
Maybe he can, go on YouTube, Ace. All for Nothing. That's what it sounds like. Write new lyrics for it. Yeah. That'd be kind of neat. All right, here's another thread. Oh, Jesus. Ace confirmed Bob Ezrin broke up the band.
I saw that.
Lonnie, did Bob Ezrin...
And I saw your response, Julian.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think?
Wait, hang on here. That's what Escape from the Island was about, to break up the band, and he's escaping.
5 years later.
Yeah.
Not really. It was originally called The Chase, so no. Sorry.
No.
Well.
Broke up the band. I don't know. It seems a little dramatic, considering Kiss hadn't reached their peak yet. Even at that point, Kiss continued to grow and continued to become a bigger success story after that. I think that's kind of crazy to even construct that sentence to me. So did Ace, did they substitute Ace on Destroyer? Yeah, absolutely they did. We all know it, and we all have had Destroyer Resurrection issued to us, and we can hear the difference. But did it break up the band? Well, no, because there's this album that they released later in the year called Rock and Roll Over, and then there's an album they released the next year called Love Gun. So no, it didn't break up the band. That's idiotic.
I guess he's saying that was the beginnings. I guess he meant. I don't know.
Because it
was his choice to go play.
They never had a disagreement.
Play poker or whatever. Play cards. Go off and play cards. That was his choice.
Yeah. How dare Bob get someone else to do it? I mean, Bob did that to everyone. It's a band. I mean, what broke up the band was forming a band. It was inevitable, I think. So, blaming it on Sweet Pain or replacing a solo and not telling him, I mean, it seems close. You guys have any of these topics that you want to talk about?
Well, I know I had put. I know one of them was. What do you think of those the Marvel Kiss shirt crossover designs? And I thought, is that the best you could come up with? I mean, it just, to me, it was a real miss on designs. I thought, I was going to think, oh man, this is going to be cool. And actually, I would have rather them just put their images as they drew them on the first Kiss Marvel comic book and just have Kiss. I mean, and it's still part of Marvel because it was a Marvel comic at the time. But the designs that they came up with, there are none I want to go out and buy. They're just not that. I don't know what it is. It's just they didn't use much imagination on trying to create something that could have been, I think, a lot more exciting.
Lonnie.
Yeah, kind of lame. I'm not going to buy a Kiss Marvel shirt. It has zero interest to me whatsoever, and I'm sure you share the same sentiment, Julian. One thread on there that I thought was interesting, and I'm surprised by the results. What? What? Do you want to comment on Marvel shirts? Oh, come on.
We'll see if he
Julian,
really.
Let's see. Julian,
if he agrees with that comment he just said.
I do not share the same sentiments.
Don't.
No, I don't, because I have no idea what they look like. I have no clue about. I have no idea what this fucking discussion's about. I absolutely no idea. So no, I don't. Please continue.
Oh, sorry. I thought an interesting thread that, and I was surprised by the result. I'm surprised by the current results are is what is the most known Kiss song worldwide? And I voted for Rock and Roll All Night over I Was Made for Loving You, and it's losing by 20%. So I thought that was interesting.
And I voted for Rock and Roll All Night also, based on a couple things. Why does Kiss play Rock and Roll All Night on most every TV appearance that they go on? They don't play I Was Made for Loving You. You think it's either they don't know their audience or something, or maybe it's just U.S. audience only. I don't know. The other thing is someone brought up Spotify plays or something like that throughout the world. Well, that's now. I mean, just because these people are playing I Was Made for Loving You more than Rock and Roll All Night now doesn't mean the plays throughout history from the beginning till now, like AM or FM radio, I guarantee they played Rock and Roll All Night a ton more going through history. But, I don't know where you could find that stat.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way to prove which one it is. My gut would be Rock and Roll All Night. It's the band's signature song. I Was Made for Loving You is popular in kind of niche markets. I'm sorry, I just called Australia a niche. But, trying to think outside of America, obviously ask an English person, what's the most popular Kiss song? Oh, Crazy Crazy Nights.
Crazy Nights, yeah.
Yeah, never heard Rock and Roll All Night. So I think worldwide probably Rock and Roll All Night is. But when does Kiss get played on radio? Unless it's satellite. I actually found a good one here. If you had a Kiss-related time machine, what would you set it to? And it includes all sorts of events. Anything you want, whether it's photo shoots or, concerts or sessions. Where would you want to go to be a fly on the wall if you could Jules Verne it? And you should immediately know the answer to that as well, Lonnie.
There's so many events that I would love to be there for that. But for me, it's MTV Unplugged. I would have loved to have been there for the filming of MTV Unplugged. Maybe the most, one of, if not the most historic events in their entire history. To see all 6 of them up on stage together. Or maybe be a fly on the wall, if you want to be a fly on the wall, like during rehearsals that week leading up to it, to see, how things were really playing out behind the scenes would have been very interesting. So I would set my time machine to August of 1995 in New York to see all that come together and then witness that performance in person would be unbelievable to me.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
Ken.
You know what? I would go back to, I guess it would be 73 when the live show, where there were not many people, but, the one where Bill O'Coin came and watched him. I would have loved to have been at that one to see what he saw, kind of thing. And I'm sure it was fantastic and super loud, of course. Just to see them in their raw, early form, live on stage, playing those, what are now, all those songs are classics, Kiss classics. So I would have loved to have been there. That's one of the times I would have chosen.
I think, unlike Ace Frehley having no regrets, I do have regrets, and I would use the time machine to correct one of those. And it shouldn't be a regret, but I would take it back to November 1984, Binghamton, New York, where I lived at the time. And I would have gone to that show, which, of course, Mark St. John ended up playing. There's so many historic things that you could say. I mean, I'd love to be there in the rehearsals to watch those, or, to watch them rehearsing in the loft or whatever. But I think the one moment in my life where I was in the same place at the same time as something cool happening, but I didn't even basically know that Kiss existed.
Right.
I would fix that for what it's worth. So that'd be kind of cool. Do you guys have any final topics before we bring this one to a close? No more yiggities.
Where you guys? I know. I just said that. I mean, Record Store Day, of course, due to all that's going on,
Exactly.
has been delayed, right? And and we know, well, Asa has that vinyl coming out for that, colored vinyl. It's a double LP, right? So I said, well, it's delayed, but Kiss still has time to try to get a record out there on Record Store Day, but I don't think. I mean, you know what? They could have done it just by using, for instance, Dress to Kill. That just came out, held that back and made it a Record Store Day thing. Maybe do a record, they could do a regular red vinyl, and then they could do a different color for the Record Store Day thing, something like that. Or whatever the next anniversary release is. What's the next one? I don't know.
Unmasked.
You're right, Unmasked.
You're right.
And that's good timing. And that's around,
That'd
so
be fun.
that would be a good one to try. So, anyway.
I think they have time to start correcting. If the rest of the year gets wiped out, if the tours do get called off, they've got time to start catching up with Def Leppard. Def Leppard's put out the early years box set, the first two groupings, the boxes of of albums. Two of those. They've just released this, which I'm going to review tomorrow on the Look It's Rock and Roll podcast. Just do a solo review of that. I think Kiss has time to, number one, forget Record Store Day. I just don't see them ever doing anything for that. But I think to tell the label to start getting its act together and doing the exact same thing that they're doing with Def Leppard. So package up the first three albums, stick a couple of extra CDs of live and demos and outtakes and all that, nice little booklet, and start putting those out. It's time in 2020, if nothing else is happening, to start throwing stuff like that out. Empty the vaults before Universal burns it. I've said it before.
Right.
And give the fans something. I think the band also needs to start getting a little bit more serious about stuff. Metallica is streaming live concerts on Mondays. Kiss needs.
They got this
to do the
7-inch
same.
vinyl club too. They're doing, which is really cool too.
Yeah, but I'm thinking more Kiss's YouTube channel and full shows. Whether they take bootlegs that have been done and reappropriate them and put them up on their channel. I mean, we did a Facebook, live watch party yesterday of that Fort Wayne 1990 show. Again, it had over 100 and something people on that stream watching, a multicam, admittedly audience and pro put together that Andrew edited wonderfully, and people loved it. The responses to it while it was on were absolutely fantastic, and people were really enjoying a lot of stuff. One guy even said, this is better than the Detroit Pro Shots. It's new to you. If you've seen it a few dozen times, it won't be as exciting as that, but still the point is, Metallica's put it with, what was the one that they did Monday, Slane, Ireland, and their Pro Shots, wow. Just absolutely stunning. Throw out, if End of the Road has hit a massive speed bump, how about a pro shot End of the Road?
Yeah.
Up on YouTube for all those fans who now have had, shows disrupted multiple times. Think about the people in Salt Lake City. Show postponed in September last year. Show at risk, and again, nothing is confirmed for that run of tour dates yet, but at risk for later this year. Think of if the European run gets done. That would have been many of their last opportunity to see the band. How about a pro shot end of the road? There needs to be one anyway to document this tour at the end, a full commercial thing with hopefully a nice big picture book of Gene and Paul's favorite photos from the tour, and Tommy and Eric's, and every single part of it detailed with quotes. You've got time now.
Let's take this time.
Take this time to do some fun stuff. Take this time to go through the vault. And, it doesn't have to be for the box set. It can be, exclusive of that and then, later included on a box. But get some of that stuff out there. Get those reissues going. These Def Leppard box sets just make me, cry about the other band that I love not doing anything. So, Lonnie, did you talk about that?
Agreed. I think that, it was really cool. I was watching the Metallica thing Monday night, and my wife was watching, actually, Garth Brooks had a live stream of him and Trisha Yearwood just kind of fooling around playing some songs on Monday night. Wouldn't it be cool if Kiss took this opportunity, in, the world's time of need to do something special for the fans? Like Julian said, a lot of these some of these people's shows have already been canceled. There's multiple ones that are at serious risk of being canceled. Do something to connect with the fans that are missing out and are gonna miss out. Do something good with this time that we're down, and try to rally the people together through music, like we were talking about at the top of the show. Whether it's something on your YouTube channel, whether it's taking the time to edit a end of the road, whether it be a DVD, whether it be just something to live stream on their YouTube channel. I know Kiss doesn't do anything for free, but maybe now is the time to do something like that for free, though. Even too is to put something up like that on your YouTube channel for the Kiss Army that's hurting right now. Do some good with this time. Put something out that's going to help heal the world a little bit.
And I love Gene Simmons if he'd live stream from his house, acoustic guitar, doing some of his 1970 songs.
Yeah,
that'd be cool. Yeah, I'd watch it definitely.
Yeah. He already knows my uncle is a raft, but when I awoke, he had that whole publishing tape, acoustic Going Blind. Can he do it? Number one, But no matter what the case is, I'd rather they all stay healthy. I'd love to see Eric do some drumming stuff, on a live stream. Just a tour of a drum kit, talking. Sit behind the drum kit, Eric, and talk. That shouldn't be that difficult for you, really. Tell us about the Deep Purple albums. Tell us about the songs that influenced you as a drummer. Tommy, same with you on guitar. Look at what Bruce is doing. Bruce and Tommy just play some of their riffs that they loved. That they were learning. And Paul. I always think back to that commercial he did. I don't remember. Ernie Ball. Such a fantastic bit of guitar work. And I know it takes a lot of effort, more than just having someone hold up an iPhone or propping one up and going. But do it lo-fi. And don't worry about it not being perfect. Just get up there and talk. Have a guitar. Tell a story. Do something, for the fans. Dropbox it to Keith if you have to, for him to upload it on the Kiss channel. But that'd be nice, and it'd be nice if they can do it. But you know what? If they don't, I'm not worried either, and I'm not going to slag them off for not doing it. So, all right, that's it for this week. Let's leave that there. We're back. We're going to do some episodes, do some crossover stuff as well if you're on another show. If you're not on a show and you just want to get together and do some podcasting, talk about music, PM one of us, and if we can find a mutually agreeable topic, we're more than willing to do so. For now, from Ken, from Lonnie, myself, stay well, stay healthy, stay away from each other, and we'll see you again soon. Bye for now. Thank you for spending time listening to the KissFAQ podcast today. All sales are final, there are no refunds. If you'd like, look us up on Facebook or come over to the KissFAQ message board and discuss the topic we've broadcast today. Don't forget to rate us on iTunes, Spreaker, or wherever you've listened to the show. We hope you'll join us again.